weapons, I think it might be tough for him to succeed. Are you ready to move on to picks?
Yeah.
The most exciting part of any football show, picking who's going to win, how are they going to win, and all the best stuff. So just getting right into it. Who are you thinking? Who are you picking?
Beaver fans, you're not going to be happy with me here. I'm sorry. I went all in, as you can tell, on the WSU game. I'm not going all in here. I mean, as you've already heard throughout this whole show, there's just so much stacked up against OSU for this game. UW is a really excellent team, and it's going to take a lot to win this game and to upset this team, because, I mean, that's what it is. If we win this game, it's an upset. It goes against my better judgment, but as a fair analyst and lover of the sport, I have to go with Washington. And I say with that the final score would be 35-14 Washington.
Well, I'm not necessarily saying that I'm surprised by you picking Washington. I did think maybe you'd put it a little closer. Heck, I have a closer score prediction. But, yeah, I am going to go with UW. I think, as we mentioned, just the stuff going against OSU, going up against this tough team. And I look at it like, I like your guys' coach, Jonathan Smith. I think he's a great coach. I mean, he's from the UW Chris Peterson offensive coaching tree. So he was here at UW. He actually coached the Beavers last year against UW very tough. I mean, that game, UW won 19-7. So a pretty close game, especially in recent history. I mean, there's been some real big blowouts in this. But looking again, I just don't think that Oregon State has the talent to really compete. I looked at the recruiting classes, and since 2017, Oregon State's had one 4-star, and that was Isaiah Hodgins, who he graduated last year or went on to the NFL. So just with that, I think UW's going to not score as many. I think it's going to be 27-10, covering the spread. But I don't think the Oregon State offense will be able to get anything really going. I mean, if they get Jefferson going, then maybe they can put up 17 points, but I don't think it'll be that close. I think UW's going to be able to control the game with their running backs and get these long 8, 9, 10-minute drives that are just absolute killers to the opponent and just flat out dominate, I guess you could say. Do you think there's any chance OSU can pull the upset?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not completely out on OSU pulling off the upset. I realistically think that UW is going to win, but I do have points to if the Beavers do want to really pull out this upset. My number one point is, and it's my number one point every week on Beaver Dash, every time we talk about what the Beavers need to do to win, and Gus is going to hate that I say this because I sound like a broken record, but the defense needs to bounce back, and they need to play with heart, because that defensive effort against WSU, it broke my heart. I'll tell you that much. But it just looked like they weren't out there to play. It really didn't look like they were out there to play. And I mean, if you have one of the best defenders in all of college football, who is going to be most likely not a number one pick in the draft, a first-round pick in the draft, in Hamilcar, you got to show up. And you got to really want to play the game. So, I mean, if he can show up and the defense can bounce back and play UW like they did last year and keep it a low-scoring game, I think that would be one way that they can actually pull off this upset. Another point that I came out with is, and I literally only wrote his name, is Jamar Jefferson. I think that Jamar Jefferson is going to be one of the biggest factors in this offense all year long. And like we mentioned earlier, if he can keep it going game in, game out, every week, there's no reason that the offense should struggle. And then it comes back on the defense. If the defense can stay off the field, if the defense can get off the field as quickly as possible and keep our offense on the field as long as they can, there's no reason that we couldn't pull off this upset. But it's all about the defense actually stepping up and filling the shoes that they need to be filling.
Yeah, as you said on